You are live. Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Normally it's happy Thursday, but happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Nicholas Zay, and welcome to Tea Time. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing great. Um, I just want to talk 1 minute, a couple minutes before I bring my sidekick on, Malachi. Um, like seriously, how's everybody doing? Like this pandemic is insane. And I just like to say my heart goes out to all those that are affected by COVID-19 and, all your families and everything like that. So, what I'm about to say, I don't want to belittle or I don't want to belittle, what you're going through or what you've been through. This is just my story. Now, my COVID-19 story is different than some people's. I'm sure some people have a similar story, but my COVID-19 story it's not sad. It's actually pretty good. Um, before COVID happened, I had just reached a monetary goal of mine. I set goals for myself and I reached the goal and then I raised the bar. But so I had reached the goal right before the lockdown happened. And so I got to experience my goal for about a week, and then the lockdown happened. Um, and my job was shut down. They said they were shutting down for 2 weeks, which turned into 3 weeks, but that's okay. So packed up my stuff and my daughter and headed to Georgia to be with the rest of my family. When I tell you it was the best non-vacation that I have ever had, it was the best. We got to spend time together, enjoy each other's company, get on each other's nerves, which was great too. We just got to do so many things together that if it wasn't for COVID, we would have never got to do. So I say this all to say that everything bad isn't completely bad. And I always try to find, some good in everything. That's my spiel for today. And right now, I'm going to bring on the nut, Mr. Malachi.
What did you call me?
What up, Mal? Huh? What?
What'd you call me? The
My
nut.
hearing's bad.
Hey, what's
You
up,
know my
everybody?
hearing's bad,
Welcome
right?
to Tea Time.
All right. Today
Hey,
we're gonna talk about.
anytime spending with family is a good time. So I'm glad you had a good time.
Oh, yeah, it was great, man. It was like awesome, just the best. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. Today we're gonna talk about dysphoria, and the best way to put dysphoria is it's a state of unease or excuse me, a feeling of dissatisfaction or feeling like a part of your body doesn't fit the gender that you know you truly are. Uh, you want to talk about your dysphoria?
I'll let you go first.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. Well, my dysphoria, I have chest dysphoria. Okay. I since puberty, since I got it, my chest started developing. I've had dysphoria. It causes anxiety, depression. It's just not anything anti-happy.
Right.
Yeah. So how I deal with it is a lot of times I used to wear bigger shirts. Um, there's trans tape, which I don't really like it, but it works for some people. People with very small chests, that's who it works for.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I will walk a certain way to hide that. I actually hate wintertime. I don't like the cold, but I like it because you can bundle up, you know, dress in layers. So to hide it. So I am certainly looking forward to having top surgery, because then it won't dysphoria will not be, and I will be happy. It's as simple as that.
So for a number of years, I had the same dysphoria as far as certain top. I hated the fact that I had man boobs,
Mm,
and to get rid of those was the best thing that ever could have happened to me. Um, my dys and a lot of it took away a lot of my dysphoria. And like we talked before, we talked about top surgery on that other episode. Um, People don't realize how life changing it is. And depression is real, and it's okay to seek counseling. I recommend it. Um, I also have another dysphoria that a lot of people don't know that I have. Number one, I'm very shy. People don't know that, but my height, me
um,
being a short man,
mhm.
um, causes me a lot of dysphoria, and my voice, sometimes because my voice is not as deep as other men. I go through a lot of depression with that.
Okay. Question. Is it like um a lot of times it's something that we put on ourselves, and most people don't, it's not their hang up. So do you find that it's something that you battle just within yourself, or
Right,
people mention it? Do people even mention it to you? You know?
right. No, and that's the thing. Sometimes we as people, like you said, we we see these things wrong with us, but no one else sees it but us.
Yeah. That's
You know
tough.
what I'm saying? And
Yep.
it's not an issue to no one but us.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
yeah. So then you're like, am I crazy? But no, it's
but
real. It's real.
I will firmly believe. I mean, there's a quote that I used to say all the time, that we cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people act in a certain way. The
Mm,
only thing we can handle is our attitude. Life is only 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So I've learned not to react on things like when someone says something about my height or about my voice, or if I get misgendered because of my voice, I'm quick to tell someone, "Hey, my pronouns are he, him, and his,"
mhm.
versus getting upset with them and going to left field.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy because speaking on voice, like the way my voice is, I've had it since whenever, I guess, puberty or whatever. So I had an issue back, before I transitioned, like in high school, and like before that, I used to get picked on for my voice. It's just crazy. So
It is.
I used to be down about my voice because I got picked on about it. Stupid things. Kids are crazy sometimes. They would try and get me to speak so they could make fun of it. Now I'm like, it's one of my greatest assets.
It's funny that in school coming up, I was not the average kid. I was bullied, I was picked on, and I was quiet a lot, and that caused me to a lot of the dysphoria caused me to sit in the back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not wanting to be a part of anything. And now that I'm up, grown, doing public speaking, and being a trans advocate, it's just really, it's like a full circle for me.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. I'm glad about that. That is great. Man.
And it's funny because the same people that picked on me in school are now my friends, or Facebook friends. That's
That's
not,
funny. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes. Same here. Yeah. It's crazy because wow. They're the same here. People they want to friend request you,
yeah.
and it's like, but
Like you
you
wasn't
don't
my
talk
friend
to me
back in
before.
school.
Yeah, you didn't want to. You didn't
Yeah.
know I existed. You act like I wasn't there, and now you want to
Yeah.
be my friend now. Like, you know, uh, it's
Yeah.
just insane to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. But
Yeah.
I also
I do
believe
want
that.
to stress, I do want to say, we as African Americans, we sometimes think that going to therapists, let's take everything to God and let's not go talk. Don't tell anybody anything that's going on in the household or how you feeling or anything. And we need to get out of that mindset. We really do. Therapy was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was afraid at first to go, but once I started going and seeing somebody, it was a big relief.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely recommend therapy. I wish I had gone, way back. I'm glad, I'm going now, but still, I wish so many things, would have been different. But,
I think had I gone years ago, it would have cost me less pain and other people's less pain.
okay.
Because along the way with my transition, I know for a fact I hurt a lot of individuals,
Mhm.
just because I didn't know myself, you
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, therapy
Mhm.
does help, and it
Most
helps
def-
with the dysphoria too.
Oh, sure, sure. And also like I learned to adapt. Always learn to I use adaptation a lot in my life. I've noticed that as I'm going through little things, going through my story and everything like that. So I think I know that with my chest dysphoria, I will adapt, so I can get through. So I'm not miserable every single day. Now, do I have some days where it just gets to me? Sure, I do. Sure. But I
Yeah,
have ways to cope with that and adapt and get through it, so
yeah.
it's not always that way at all.
With me, before I had surgery, number one, because I'm short, so
Mm,
and I had very large man boobs. Um, it looked worse. You know what I'm saying? And it was a really tough time for me. I was in a dark place back then. I have blossomed, and like you, I'm a spruce. I can adapt to any climate. Um, and that's what I was doing to adapting, but at the same time, I was pretty much staying in a closet.
okay.
You know, another big dysphoria for me, and I don't know, not dysphoria. It sends me to a unhappy place. Um, like I said, everyone knows I'm from Texas. Well, to go home back to Texas is really hard. People say, "Oh, you don't come home very often," and that's because going back to Texas around my family is being misgendered. Calling by my dead name, and
Yeah.
it's just a really really hard um, time. Um, I'll be going next month, and closer to the time it's time to go, the more I'm like scared.
Hmm.
You know,
Right. I got you. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Excuse me, everybody. I'm sorry.
I didn't even look to see if we had any questions.
Questions. No, just craziness. No, this is Onyx saying what's up. That's I have a guest coming, but we're
I would
having
love, I would
difficulties
actually
right
love
now,
to get
so
with
we're just going.
Onyx. I would love to get with Onyx because I would really, really, really would love to put my story in a book or put my story on video, and that would be a really good thing for just to put it out there. Onyx, I know you're on here, so just know.
Oh, you heard it. Oh, you heard it. You heard that. It seems like everybody's having difficulties right now. So, um, when I was speaking on adaptation, adaption, and manifestation, also, I would like to do an open discussion about it and what people think and how they feel about it. If they agree with it, if you don't agree with it, and do like a panel discussion and get people's ideas. Whether you agree or you disagree, that's fine. I just want to get different views, see how you feel about it, get examples, and just go from there. So if anybody's interested or knows anybody who would be interested in having this this discussion, please hit me in my inbox and let me know. It seems like let me bring him back. Oh, he keeps disappearing. What happened?
Why I keep smiling? I always smile. That's what I do. Some people
No,
think
you disappeared.
some people think I'm mean, but I'm really not. I'm a nice guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were a nice guy. I thought you were a nice guy, definitely. Let me see. If my guest can come on, he's having a lot of trouble. So I'm sorry. Apologize for that.
Someone said check your inbox. You saw that?
Yeah, but I'm online right now, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to do right now. I will check my inbox when I'm done.
Right.
I don't understand.
Um.
Like that's pretty rude, but okay.
Yeah,
But
I was in a group, a trans group the other day, and someone was looking for a gynecologist. A trans man was, and that's another thing that we have a issue. And I know it's hard to find a gynecologist that'll make you feel comfortable. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Or front desk staff that won't misgender you.
yeah,
I was able to find him someplace, but it was just really, you know, it was a like a light bulb. Like you're right. These are issues that we have to deal with.
sure, sure. It looks like our guest has arrived. Now, if you promise to behave, I might let you stay.
Everyone knows
Oh, so
that
you
I'm
gotta
gonna
go?
behave.
What? Mm.
I'm the one that always behaves.
Wait, so you trying to say I don't?
Right.
But okay, thank you everybody for being, patient. You know how the internet is not very friendly sometimes. So I'm gonna bring on my guest. I had the pleasure of meeting this. I'm gonna say young man because he's nowhere near my age. Um, I had the pleasure of meeting him several years back on a set that actually D. Thomas was directing. Um, I'm going to dub this guy. I call him the, the king of trades, Mr. Royce Hall. Let's see if we can get him to come on.
What's going on?
Ah, there he is.
I am.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
It's
Hey,
been a day, but I'm
how are
glad to
you?
be
You
here. Hmm?
I'm glad you're here, man. Good to
I
have you on
appreciate
the show. Welcome to Tea Time, sir.
it. Hey,
Appreciate you.
it's a pleasure.
Definitely. All right, let me kick it a little bit because this is. Let me see if I can do it like this. Oh, I cannot. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, yeah, now I can see you guys a lot better. That's awesome. All right, so Royce, I was reading your bio and I was like, wow, a shorter list would have been for you to tell me what you don't do. This guy does so many things. Let's just start. I don't know where to start. Let me see. Um, you play many, many instruments. Can
I
you
do.
just tell us what you play, sir?
I play clarinet is actually my first love. Then keys, trumpet, tenor sax. Just picked up electric guitar. Um, djembe, congas, bongos.
Okay, never mind. Everything,
Yeah.
everything. Wow. So, what got you into like music and instruments and everything? Well, I'll say music because you do more than just play instruments. So,
I would say I started. Let me see. Before I started playing piano, which was around 3, my mom put me into a piano school, basically is what it was called. But I would just listen to music all day. It was constant in the house growing up. So even before that, I fell in love with it. write my own songs, create my own little tunes, and hum all day. And so piano was first, and then from piano I went into beginner band. We
Okay.
picked up clarinet in fifth grade. They were out of alto saxes. They only had clarinet, so ended up
Wow.
fell in love with it. Yeah, fell in love with it, and did every band you could think of: marching band, chorale, jazz band, symphonic band, pep band. Got to FAMU, minored in music, and just kept going.
That was my other question. That was my next question, I should
Yeah.
say. But first, let me jump back a little bit. I dabble a little bit in tenor sax. I started out with the clarinet. I hated it. I was forced to play it. My mom was like, at the time, was like, when once upon a time when I was a girl, she's like, girls don't play, saxophone. But anyway, but yeah, um, so yeah, you went to FAMU,
I did.
Florida A&M, where the home of the marching 100. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yes. For
Absolutely.
all of you don't know, that's Florida A&M's marching band. Yes, I'm a marching band geek. So I
Absolutely.
assume you were in the band.
I did jazz band.
Oh, you did jazz band. Oh, that's even
Yeah,
better.
jazz band.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to do the 100. I went to FAMU DRS, so they pretty much trained us to go from DRS directly to the 100. All of our directors came from the 100. Um, a lot of the 100 members will come to our school to help us during practice, of course, during band camp during the summers. But yeah, I was gonna do the 100, but mm-mm,
that's a lot.
the jazz band route. Yeah,
So your bio it's full. I mean full. Let me tell you of the arts. But can you tell everybody what your major in college was?
animal science, pre-vet medicine. Yeah,
How?
yeah. Oh, for me, it was having the best of both worlds. Actually,
Okay.
being able to do both, and at this point in my life, I've given years to animal science. So at this point in my life, I'm really focused on the other side of art, or the other side of science rather, which is art. So I'm giving my time to music, film, poetry, etc., full time, pretty much. So I love animals, love science, and I figured why not just attack both of them, have both of them under my belt.
That's awesome. So
Yeah,
and he minored in music, so he's not letting it go.
not letting it go at all. I'm committed.
Yeah. So besides being a musician, um, you're an actor, a performance
Yeah,
poet, a songwriter. There's we're gonna be here for the next like 10, 15 minutes. So that's just to name a few things. And let me tell you, I went and checked out your music, man. You smooth.
thank you, appreciate it.
You smooth. Um, if people want to check you out and check out what you do, where can we find you?
Of course, Spotify, Pandora,
Okay.
uh, Apple Music, Title, all those the streaming platforms as well as YouTube. My channel is everything but the boy.
Everything but the boy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard it. Yeah, I
yeah.
heard it. Also, you started. You're into dabbling, not dabbling, but you jumped into film now, and you wrote a screenplay called The Box, which
The
is
box in the corner.
about to go into production. Can you tell us a little bit about The Box? Like, what's it about?
Uh, so basically, it came from a poem. Uh, what is it? I think it's called Trash Day.
Hmm.
Uh, my first book of poetry. So it's pretty much about a person who is dealing with the end of a relationship. They realize that during the relationship, they silenced themselves. They pretty much became the box in the corner for their partner's needs. Everything about them was tucked away, hidden into the corners of this figurative house as well as literal house. Uh, and this person begins to reclaim their core once the relationship falls apart. They find this box that reconnects them to everything that they thought they lost. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I tried. What happened was I was trying to create a short film of my own, maybe 30 seconds for Instagram. I happened to scroll Facebook. I saw a posting that Onyx put up regarding a screenplay contest, and I thought, well, why not challenge myself? I write poems, I write short stories. Let's see if I can convert the short stories into an actual script. And uh, little to what I knew about, I really been retaining the technique of writing screenplays as an actor, and had no clue that I was retaining the actual technique. So I dove in and turned the poem into a script, and maybe a week later, after submitting it, I found out that it was chosen. But I kept going, because after that I started another script, which is actually pretty is kind of about me. But that one's about a young trans boy who's actually in high school, coming into himself. It's the mid late '90s in the South. So I'm really excited about that one too. But the box in the corner is a queer centered narrative as well. But the way I tell the stories of both of those is to not be preachy or project only this queer or trans narrative, but to actually tell the human elements, minus the objectifying, minus the fetishizing, minus being subjected to expectations that are inhumane. So I'm ready to go into production, and I can't wait. Long story short.
Yeah, I mean, just when you just told me, I can't wait for you to go into production. Man,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Onyx is
I'm ready to see it too.
right. I
Uh,
gotta say, Onyx is good for igniting some sparks under people's behinds, including myself. That's why Tea Time has gotten started, thanks to her. Shoot.
yeah.
Yeah.
She will definitely help you.
Yeah. Big ups to OK. Love you. You got any questions, Malachi, for my man here? I mean, I got more, but
No, I was told I had to be quiet because
no, no,
I'm the
that's
trouble
not what I
child.
said. I did not say that. I said you have to behave. I did not say you had to be quiet.
Oh, so you said you have the love for music, and was it an outlet for you?
Uh, well, with creating music, what happened was I actually wanted to meet TLC. That was the whole thing with going into music as an artist, was to meet TLC. I figured my two best friends and I, we figured if we became famous, we made music as the entrance to the industry, we would meet TLC and they would love us, and we'd be one big happy family. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so that was the interest of that, and then I actually fell in love with uh, emceeing, and it just stuck. It was more so that was like the catalyst into creating music, because I love writing, but that just really turned things up. Wanted to meet these individuals who were, so iconic to us, and they were everything. So that was
Yeah. I
the,
love
the
TLC.
that opened the recording artist door. And even after meeting two of them, and having full circle moments, and actually playing my music for one of them for album submission, uh, it still was a very surreal experience. Just how I got there. I got there because of them, and then having this full circle moment later in life was it was unheard of. My 10-year-old self was on cloud nine. But
Right.
yeah, that was the entrance, and then I got into MC battling my senior year of high school, and that turned into me doing a lot of competitions, radio stations, BET Black College Tour. Uh, Done that twice, but I was not writing music consistently, writing songs consistently, and that was the thing that my manager at the time wanted me to do, was actually create full length songs. After that, I started to write them, and 10 years later or so, I created my first album and just kept going.
Wow. That
Yeah.
is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great.
Yeah, there's some other like little parts in there that I kind of jumped around and jumped over, but that's pretty much it.
That's
Yeah.
because we don't got 5 hours, man.
Hey, hey, this
No,
this is
no.
tea this is tea time. We keeps it real. We tells it all.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Here you go. See, I said behave.
My bad. My bad.
Whatever. Never mind. You don't gotta behave. Just whatever. It's all good. It's all good. You
For
got more
sure.
questions? What? Nah. All right. Because
So,
I'm
how
about
old
to
are
get.
you, Royce?
Oh, that's on here.
You look. Reason why I say that because you look really, really young. You look younger than us, so that's why
Oh,
I asked that.
he is. He is younger than us.
Everybody's younger than us.
I'm in my 30s.
Oh yeah, you a baby.
What?
Yeah,
30s?
yeah.
Come on, man, Nick. You probably don't even remember your 30s.
I remember. Thank you very much. I don't remember. What? Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm
See?
in my 30s.
Okay,
He's lived. He's lived a lot.
I
but
That's
have. I
you
have.
did a lot in those 30 years, though. That's what
I
I'm saying because you have so much under your belt. That
he hasn't even told us half the stuff that he's done.
wow.
yeah, man. I don't know. I'm on a journey.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been medically transitioning?
Let me see. I started in was it 2020 in 2008, and actually had a couple of things come up. Had to stop, but what I found was after getting over some psychological, emotional, spiritual humps at that point, um, found my own way to kind of like keep going, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
2008 was my entrance into this next chapter.
Welcome. Now, who's the babies?
Who's the babies?
Yeah, me. I
Oh, I
didn't start transitioning until last year, so medically
got you,
transition.
got
Yeah.
you.
So,
Yeah.
when you decided to transition, either time, what was it like telling people in your circle?
Well, for me, it was. Let me see. I never identified as female, or lesbian, or butch, or stud. Uh, Growing up, I just knew who I was. So I really didn't know much of a difference until, oh, I knew the difference, but I just thought maybe I'm a different kind of guy. So when puberty hit, that was a completely different hump that I had to get over mentally. Um, but when I actually came into community circle, being in Tallahassee, it's a very, though it's a college town with very, very popular universities and a college there that's really popular, there wasn't much language to provide agency, especially for somebody like me in the early 2000s. It was unheard of. And though there was, like, I had a friend who went to fam with me, who had already been a couple of years into transitioning medically. He wasn't on the scene, if you will. So there wasn't, he didn't have a no one connected with him or knew of him, so that didn't even provide language. And then the resource center that was there, I think it's still open. um it was difficult to get uh to get any assistance at that time. So some guys left. One older cat I know, he moved to, I think, Phoenix, or no, Houston. He moved to Houston. Much older guy, but because there wasn't an outlet readily accessible, a lot of people left. I was still there. So when I found out, what happened was, I was on downlink and I was with a frat bro of mine, and out of just random conversation, he shows me these people on downlink, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is my tribe. I found my people. Like, hold up. And she's showing it to me kind of like, yo, you see this? Like, what is this? And I'm
Okay.
like, oh my God, the gates have opened. And I started messaging people. And most of the people I came in contact with were in Philly, in New York. They were nowhere near me. But just to be able to see that there were people like me, I'm not tripping, I'm not crazy.
Right. Right.
That was a celebratory moment for me. So uh, I did a lot of communicating first with them, and then a lot of affirming with myself individually. And at some point it was it may have been it was in early 2008, I believe. There was an event I used to do. It was a forum every Sunday, and in Tallahassee, pretty much at that time, all people thought were studs, femmes, butches, even the trans women who were there. They were thought to be drag queens. You know, their language is so important. It's so important. But I actually decided to publicly affirm myself at the forum that we had, and that experience was life changing in so many different ways because people who I thought were actually, you know, the homies, the friends,
Mm,
immediately I became ostracized. And, you know, I'm going to the club, people looking at me up and down, trying to see what's going on. Like, do you have this? Do you have that? You know, I had one person tell me that I was a traitor because now I could live the life that she wanted to have because I was now affirming my life as a black man, and she, as a black lesbian, would never have the benefits that I would have. So there was that was very that was I never would have thought that that would have been my experience. You know,
mhm.
but
Yeah,
things changed and things evolved, and actually more people began to affirm themselves and stand in their truth in a variety of ways. But that was my experience with actually publicly coming into myself, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
that's good.
Oh,
That's good.
yeah.
As far as like your creative life, singing and acting, and yeah, did you even say you acting? I just slipped that in there right quick.
I
Um,
do, I do.
hey, yeah, I know, but did
Yeah,
you mention it? No.
I
Um,
did.
when you started to transition, did you have to adjust anything, change anything? Did it affect it at all? Was it hard?
Um, I didn't change anything at all.
Good.
Anything at all because my first actual lead role, like I literally went from an extra with this one producer's projects to a lead role, and the lead role was actually a trans man. That was in 2010, and so from that point on, every role that I've played has been in alignment with who I am. So I didn't have to change anything at all.
Good. That's
Yeah,
great. That's great.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And then I've like some of the characters I play in some stage plays. Like uh I played cisgender male roles. I played gay male roles, gay men with HIV, like all all sorts of stories that I've been privileged to be able to tell and stand in without any barriers.
That's great. Great. Nothing, Malachi? Okay. Because if I start talking and you want to talk, I'm
Yeah,
gonna punch
I'm
you
over
down.
here impressed. I'm really impressed with this young man.
Oh, thank you so
Young man.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Bro,
so
he's
much.
a good dude. He's a good dude. You know. Um, you know, for me, I had um I guess an awakening, like a rude awakening. I don't know, rude, but I realized that I went from being not only black, but now I'm a black man. Like I'm a black trans man. And in this day and age, that's some dangerous ish right there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, has that affected you? Have you thought about that in any way? Does it make you
Um,
walk through the world different?
my first experience was uh, it was long before I even knew that I could actually be who I am. If that connects. But I would say my first experiences of as an adult and seeing what that means to be a black man specifically in America was I think it was 2000 it was summer 2007, and I got pulled over in Norman Park, Georgia. Late
Uh,
night, young white cop, and that experience uh that opened up a different set of lenses because I knew at that moment and in that moment I was seen as uh, the fear in his eyes, just looking at me and seeing me, and the readiness to do whatever it would take to, pro- I guess, if you will, protect himself from nothing, but to
Right.
protect himself. To see that and to see him ready, I knew that my path included a few different elements um, in that moment, and then also just on the daily of the social aspect, even with work. A few years ago, I've had some experiences now living in Florida, and just communicating with coworkers and the different conversations that you have, and uh, when your identity is who you are, but it's assumed to be something else. So the conversations around you are just like the water cooler, hanging with the boys conversations. And you really have to ask yourself, like, okay, do I want to say something?
Yes.
Do I want to be quiet? You know,
Mhm.
and you in those moments realizing like I have to choose, pick and choose. If I want to, I have to choose how I'm going to navigate this atmosphere right now, because depending on how it's taken, that can open up a different set of can of worms for me.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
I've definitely had some experiences as it relates to being a black man. Uh, period. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
because before, I have young men that part of my family that I'm like always concerned and worried for, and I instilling them certain things, what to do, what not to do, this, that. Now I'm like, oh, wait a second, that goes for me too now, and
Mhm.
it hit me like one day, just like gotta
Yeah.
you gotta walk different. You can't be the same person you were before. You can't walk through life that way.
Yep.
It's just scary.
Yep.
It's really scary. I mean, even to everything that's been going on the last couple of days, I was literally scared to go get something to eat last night, thinking, wow, that could have been me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But like you said, way back we always worried about our nephews and cousins, but now it's us. I'm worried about me, you
Yeah.
know. And people can say all day long that we choose to be trans, but who chooses? Who chooses this? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Why would you choose this?
Yeah,
It's tough. It's not
Exactly.
easy. It's not easy. So it's not a choice.
yeah.
You know, it's who we are. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yes. Even I had someone I grew up with, childhood friend, if you will, who actually was murdered by the police this morning in Tallahassee.
Wow. Sorry to
Yeah.
hear that.
Actually, and the funny, not funny thing, but the interesting thing about it is, growing up, there were some people in my circle who, or just around, like just peers in general, who so unapologetic, even in middle school, high school, just unapologetic. And I thought that he was just, like a vanguard, just ahead of his time, walking in his truth. And he had been away for a while, but when I found out this morning, or when everything happened, and I went to his page, and he had just been released from prison earlier this year, and it was so beautiful to see him owning his truth. And I was just like, wow, I think the thinking about it now, the saddest part about it is, not being able to actually talk to him about his journey. As a black man of trans experience who went through so many tiring, deeply rooted experiences, and surviving that and enduring through that. And, he went live last night, 12 hours or so before his death, and put so much out, so much out. And those those reasons in itself are the reasons that it's so important for people to understand. No one is choosing to walk this life
Mhm.
that may result in you in it being taken from you simply because you're being who you are. No one would choose that. You
Right,
know, it is a matter of life and death. You know, do I want to ownership of my story of my life, surrender and cower to someone else's idea of what I should be?
Right.
You know, so um, I think people really need to think twice when they subjects involving people that are already, you know, oppressed and then oppressed on top of oppressed. Like, think about
right,
that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
exactly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
Exactly, and not even to that, I know for me, along my journey, I've lost a lot of what I call friends. People
Mhm.
I grew up with that still continue to call me by my dead name, or just and it's sad, when you think about it. you know, would you rather have a trans friend or a trans brother, or would you rather have a dead brother or a dead friend?
Fact.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. But that's one of the reasons why I started tea time is just because a lot of times it's that people they just don't know, and what they don't know they're afraid of, or they don't understand, or it's different, or it's changed, or it's this, or it's that. So I started. One of the reasons why I started tea time is so they can see we're regular people just like everybody
Exactly.
else.
Regular people.
Regular people, man, just trying to live and survive and do great things.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it.
Exactly.
And I also like this platform because it can show younger people that there are people like us out here. There are musicians, film writers. There are people out here, are just like them,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
we're living our truth and
Yep.
walking in our truth.
And happy. Yes. Don't.
Hmm.
Happy,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Most
But they
definitely.
say we can't be silent anymore.
No, definitely not.
Our lives depend on it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Literally. Yeah. Literally.
So, Roy, this is one more question for me for right now. Maybe one question. You have any like I don't know special saying, motto, or mantra that you go by that you willing to share?
I would say the one that I stick with often, and this one came up last night, was "I am necessary."
Uh,
That is
okay.
pretty much the main one that I live by. Next to that, I am divinely and intentionally created.
I
That
like.
those are my main two.
I like it. I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that when we're reminded that placed here intentionally, it clears up a lot of the chaos mentally that may come from outside forces that uh, attack your core.
Mhm.
So when you remind yourself that I'm here because divine order thought that it would be pretty dope to send me down here to Earth. That whatever set of tools I'm coming with here, humanity needs them. I need these experiences. I am of the same stardust, star people who came here. It reminds you of your brilliance, your tenacity. You survived because all these other people survived before you, and there's no doubt you are not here because it's on purpose. It can't be. It's not like just some little random slip up. Oh, oops. No, you're here because you're needed.
Yeah, you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose.
Exactly.
You got to kind of figure it out. And it's not always gonna be like, "Hey, I'm your purpose." It doesn't
Right.
always happen like that. And your purpose may not even look like what you think it's supposed to look like. Yeah. So just don't even question it. Just go. Just do
Exactly.
positive things. Treat people well, and you'll find your way. I promise you, you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Question.
And believe it or not, there's always someone watching us. No matter what, there's always someone watching us saying, "Man, I wish I could be like that guy."
Yep.
Mm,
Definitely,
that's true.
definitely.
Uh, no question. Onyx asked, did you talk about your budding film career? Your filmmaking career, not your film career.
I did, and thanks
Yeah.
to that, I'm tapping into something that I a year ago didn't even see coming.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Walking in purpose.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
This has been a great show, man. I love it. It's crazy because I already did the ending when I was waiting for somebody to come on. Oh
Yeah, you should have seen me in here like a trying to figure it out.
yeah.
Royce, it's okay. People wait for this guy every week, so it's.
You you know you're gonna
Oh,
stop.
don't cut me. Don't kick me out. Don't kick me out. I'll be quiet.
Always got messing with me. I be having difficulty, so I understand. I get it. Especially that one week, y'all. It was terrible. But we got it together.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was great.
So,
It's like,
Royce, do you have any dysphorias,
mm, yeah, we
Let's
talked about this
see.
story
Um, hmm,
or did you back in the day? You know.
back in the day.
uh, definitely. I think you know what the one time the I wasn't gonna say the one time, but there was a period when it was around 2008 9ish, that period, and then when I moved up here in 2013, both of those periods pretty much being like the same, reflecting the same experience, but what was going on was I was holding myself to a certain standard, and that standard was unhealthy for me. That standard was going to eat me alive. So, I would see guys who uh, might be much, 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 much further ahead of me from what I could see and where my mind was at that moment, what I should be doing at that moment. And so, my own expectations created a disconnect and a lack of relationship with me. So I went through that twice, and then also there was a period where I was holding myself up to the standards that other people thought I should look like, be like by a certain time period. That was healthy as well. And so once I got past those, was pretty good. Um, of course, there were moments where, aside from that, just wanting to physically affirm myself the way I was like I just want to grow up. I really felt like I want to evolve. Like I've been in this puberty like zone for a long time, this 12, 13-year-old boy, and now it's time for me to get at least some 16, 17-year-old activity going on. And so but once I got past that, it was a little easier to navigate. And I also had to realize that um I know what my body's like when I'm working out, if that's what I want my body to be. So if I'm not working
Mhm.
out, I got to accept what comes with that, and be ready for that. And if I'm comfortable with that, then okay. But just be easy and gentle on myself in the process, because I last year, due to an issue with my job, of course, that kicked out insurance, and unexpectedly, of course, my physician who I was going to, everything, all of that was out of the window. So
Uh,
that was a very trying period. Um, Not knowing when, not knowing how, if, and having to figure out my own way of maintaining what I felt is my relationship with my body, and not putting myself in situations that that might make me uncomfortable. Um, but overall, like the past year for sure has been great, and then prior to last year has been pretty good. But that was definitely a period, like getting past, uh, being able to also understand that it's all a journey and a process. So, these guys, they've been doing this longer. I'll get there. If that's the way I want to do it, I'll get there. And the people who have this idea of what we all should look like, they don't matter. So disconnect from that, and be happy for the guys who are progressing on their journey because you should want to be happy for them.
Right.
You should want to pour good energy into their experience and their evolution. It's me to say, oh my God, why can't I? That's one more person who is blossoming. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah,
And you're like we said, like we said earlier, we're our worst enemy. We're the ones who like looking at say other people don't care.
Right.
exactly,
No, it's us.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
That's true. All right. Anybody watching got questions? Y'all quiet today. Jeez.
I see them watching. I see them
I'm over there
watching.
watching watchers, not saying nothing. I guess there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. A lot right now.
All right. Malachi, you good?
I'm good, man.
All right.
Um, Before we get off here, I want to encourage everybody who's if you're watching this later or watching this now, make sure you guys are getting your pap shares and your mammograms. Do your HIV testing. Guys, getting checked is so important. Um, if you want to talk about PrEP, let me know. I don't mind talking about PrEP. PrEP is a once a day pill that can prevent you from getting HIV. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about that. I just want to make sure that we're getting checked, and it's so important, so important.
Absolutely.
Great. Onyx said, "Great show. Thank you. We think so too. Think it's
For sure.
unanimous on that. This was definitely a great show. We touched on a lot of stuff. Um, like I was saying earlier, I want to do a panel discussion on um, adaptation and manifestation, just to get people's ideas of how they feel about it, what they think about it, whether they're for it or against it. So if anybody's interested in that, hit me in my inbox and we can get that. We can do that on one of the shows. That would be great. It's also a little side project that I'm doing. So you'll help me out a lot, actually a lot. You'll help me out with that. I would definitely appreciate that. Royce, thank you so much
Thank
for
you all. Thank you both for
coming,
sure.
man. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I
Um,
definitely enjoy.
good. Malachi, yeah, you already know, man.
I'll be looking out for that film.
Yep.
I'm
That,
ready.
soon as
Yeah,
this pandemic is subsides a little bit, yeah, right? That's what
exactly.
you
Yeah,
wait for. Okay.
waiting for this to calm down and
Yeah,
at first.
it's got a lot of stuff on hold. But all right, everybody. We're gonna sign off right now. I'll see you guys next week. Uh, Most definitely same time. If not, I'll change it, but I'll let you guys know. But definitely probably be Wednesday at 8. So y'all have a good night. Be safe out there.
Nah, man.
You shall do the
Appreciate
same.
y'all. Peace.